Light boss, bitch. For sure. I listen to the Mind Evan and Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're gonna talk about the energies for motherfucking Saturday. Well, it's technically Saturday right now because it's after 12 p.m. Well, Eastern time, but y'all get with the program. Everybody gonna experience the same energies at the same time, perspective or relative to where their position is at and location. But for the most part, we're gonna get into the energy of what we're gonna be experiencing Saturday. Now, the moon have just moved into Virgo. So you're getting a fresh, clean slate for Saturday. And the moon is in Virgo. Now, the moon shares a deep, intense energy and familiarity with Virgo. Well, I'm going to say the sixth house. Because what y'all need to understand is the houses represents the space and the location. And these spaces, locations, are wombs. So stars get formulated out of the space, aka the house. This is why stars are able to move through the houses and change houses and move through the astral realm just as well as you, being a mini star. So for the most part, when we talk about the houses, I'm just going to say the moon shares a strong relationship with the sixth house and that whole space and location. But for the most part, this is why the moon loves Virgo. And I know you already feel the sense and feel the necessary need to work on something at the moment. Or to pay attention to certain details and certain practical things in your life, or certain details with your clothes or your area and things of that nature. Because what does Virgo represents? Virgo represents nurturing, caring, being practical, making sense out of things, working, or whatever you're working on, health, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, which means your daily task, things that's a routine in your life, the ability to criticize and look at the details of things. Also, it's being mutable and being able to adapt to its own or others' ways of thinking and being practical, which is ultimately making sense out of things. So this is what the moon is going to be forcing everybody to react and respond to at the moment. So I already know you feel you start to feel the pumped up energy already, that you feel like you probably need to work on something, or have something to work on, or have something to create structure around, or to analyze, or to create a routine around something. I know I felt the energy. I just started working on a whole bunch of shit. Just started working on, so I'm reacting and responding to these things. So, the moon loves being in Virgo because it gets to react and respond to things that it actually likes or was actually natural to react and respond to here. So if you have a moon in a debilitated place, it may not be reacting and it may force you to react and respond to your surroundings in a way that may not be favorable, or you may not even necessarily know how to react and respond effectively. But when you got the moon in places like Virgo, Cancer, Taurus, these people know how to react and respond to the things that people are supposed to be reacting and responding to in this world. And the problem that these people can have is when they start to experience that they're doing so right, they start to take advantage of them being right to the point that they start to oppose that onto others, and then that end up making them wrong in a lot of cases. So you have to keep that in mind also. But with the moon being in Virgo, this is what everybody forced to react and respond to at the moment. So, it may be a little harder for it may be a little harder for you if your moon is in Pisces, moon is in Gemini, or if your moon like mine's in Sagittarius. Well, I have a little shared attributes because of the specific degree. So it's important to understand your degrees too, because your degree ties you back to your star lineage. And once you understand your fixed star, a lot of time the constellation that you came from may still resonate with whatever sign that you're in, or whatever sign that the planets is in at the moment based upon transits. So it's important to understand that also. Like the three-dimensional version of it, you may be playing out kind of bad characteristics of it, but you may still be able to get with the energy a lot better than others based upon your degree that tie you back to your constellation lineage. So keep that in mind also. But just by actual nature and the first awareness of action, third dimensional wise, the first thing that people may be consciously aware of seeing from you, if you are sun, moon, and ascendant Pisces, Sag, or Gemini, then it may be a little bit hard for you to kind of react and respond the way that is necessarily needed to react and respond in this realm that we are in right now. Because the realm that we are in, the moon puts us in our world, our realm. So the realm, for an example, when you first came out your mother, What you do? You took your first breath, but you ain't breathed out. You breathed in. So that gave you right there the common sense and the natural awareness that you are receiving first. So if you are in the realm of receiving, the moon is the first placement, your lightest cloth that kind of taps you into your true state of being, which is how you react and respond to things. So whatever sign the moon is in at the moment, this is the energy we're going to be reacting and responding to. And since we're in a realm and a dimension that reacting and responding is first, then we got to kind of know that the moon is kind of most important in this realm of reality. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Now, because it's correlated to the past and memory, and you won't know who you are unless you know where you came from. You see what I'm saying? So things is a kind of, it gives you a sense. You know, the ascendant is more of your future, of where you're going. You know what I'm saying? The sun is more of what you're doing now, more in the present. So keep that in mind, you know. And you can correlate what's more important when you talk about the past, present, and future. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even know what's going on in your present if you ain't come from a past. And your past and your present, you have to bring these two together to construct a future for yourself. And y'all can build on that in many different ways. See what I'm saying? So the moon go through many different attributes when it's in Venus. Virgo, I meant to say. It's also going to give everybody an extra sense of wanting to think and communicate and analyze something in some way, shape, or form. Because Virgo is the most communicative earth sign. Because Virgo likes to well, Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is very fast, it's very curious, it likes to utilize the intellect, it likes to conversate, and it likes to analyze. So when it's in, so it rules Virgo. So Virgo, this is the speeded up version of Earth. This will be the rocks and the scattered pieces of Earth. Not the building itself like Taurus, or not the blueprint or the manuscript to how to build the building that's on the paper like Capricorn. Is actually analyzing and seeing every crevices of the building and make sure the building is sustainable enough to be ran for a business. So for the most part, Virgo is the scattered rocks. It's the rock that you can skip over water puddles and things of that nature. Not no big ass brick like Taurus, or not no imagination if you were skipping rocks like Capricorn. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's a different dynamic when we get to everything. So these are the energies we're going to be experiencing Saturday. So I mean Saturday. Yes, I be getting it mixed up, but my spirit can't help it because it's the same shit anyway. So for the most part, what does this mean? Saturday is not a. People need to understand too is you need to involve yourself into as much work as possible on Saturday. Don't let society construct yourself in a way to make you think that Saturday is anything like Friday. A lot of people give a lot more freedom energy to Saturday than they do Friday. And then slowly but surely that manifests bad scenarios throughout the week, throughout the following week. All the time. Saturn and Saturday is always the energy signature of work and labor and the cobalt mines and things of that nature, like Mortal Kombat and shit like that. You're always in a situation where you have to work. But y'all have been led to believe that y'all supposed to give y'all energy to partying and being off and things of that nature. So it creates a structure around the week and the days of the week, which is the stars of the week. And you end up giving the wrong energy to a specific day. AKA you give the wrong energy to a specific star. For an example, the day of the week start on goddamn Monday. But Monday, that day is the star, the moon. Moon represents home, family, comfortableness, relaxing, connection. So you're supposed to give your action, your solar plexus, and your moon energy to that type of energy. But y'all motherfuckers have to get up in the morning and go to work. Kids have to get up in the morning and go to school. So you're giving your reacting and responsible energy and your foundation and family and constructive energy to an energy that has nothing to do with that. So this is why everybody hate to get up on Mondays. This is why everybody may be stressed out going to work on Mondays. This is why Monday is the most lazy active part of the brain for children who go to school on Mondays. You know what I'm saying? Kids don't get with the program until Tuesday. The week is supposed to start on Tuesday, Mars Day. You know what I'm saying? So you can utilize Mars energy. Get up and go to work. Then and school and work. Then Wednesday should be the second day. You know what I'm saying? Because you utilize Mercury. The third day should be Thursday because that's Jupiter day. Then you should be off Friday, right? Off Friday. Then you should go back to work or go back to school on Saturday, right? Then You should be off Sunday. Sunday should be the day for your creativity and your imagination and your way of acting and having fun and enjoying yourself. That's what Sunday's supposed to be for. Then they go back to Monday. And Monday should be relaxing from having fun from Sunday. Sunday's supposed to be the party day. You know what I'm saying? Imagination, because it's the stars, the sun. The sun likes to be seen, center stage. So Sunday is supposed to be the performing day. You know what I'm saying? The day you happy, the day you got paid, the day you was off, the day you get to relax, and the day you get to express yourself into your creativities and your fun and enjoyment and shit like that. Then Monday is supposed to be the day you sit and sleep that shit off or relax and get comfortable and have family time and things of that nature. Then Tuesday, you get back to work. Wednesday, you get back to work. Thursday, you learn from work. You know what I'm saying? Friday, your other day off. Saturday, you get back to work. So you see what I'm saying? Sunday, Monday, off. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, work. Friday, off. Saturday is that day that you work again. You see what I'm saying? And that's how it's supposed to go. Things got off schedule though once Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus got a little scattered. And the farther they got away, the harder it is to tap into their imagination. So that space and location, space is space within space. Those spaces that they orb in have moved from our space. So we can no longer calculate their space within our 360 space in a way of calculating our time. We have to make sure we're calculating time based upon 360 still. So since those planets moved out of our space, we had to cut off those days. So it's no longer 10 days week. It's a 7-day week, because the closest stars that's emitting their space, their spirit in our location, and it's still a part of our rotation, will be the 7. You know what I'm saying? So it's 7 days, just like 7 planets, 7 stars. A star is a day. You are a day. You are a star. See what I'm saying? So, for the most part, this is what you need to understand when we talk about the moon. And I just got into something else, but the moon being in Virgo. So this is the energies we're going to experience tomorrow. These are things you need to react and respond to. Being practical, making sense. You know what I'm saying? Not getting up and jumping. See, Saturday, they'll lead you to think that Saturday is the have fun day. So all the clubs is open. But here's what you're not going to understand. There's going to be a lot of checkpoints because the moon is in Virgo. And also, your car could fuck up right now if you ain't got things situated. If you've been running your car on a specific level on a gas tank, you need to know that is not gonna make sense. You're gonna be on E a lot faster than you was a lot of other days. So if you're not being practical and making sense out of your car circumstance on Saturday, shit gonna be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You just have to make sure you're being practical and making sense, and make sure you're in reality and seeing how other people get things work, and seeing how they're thinking and making sense out of things, so you could construct if they're making sense or not, and see what worked for you, and come to a broad perspective on how things supposed to work, and how things make sense in general. That's what you're supposed to do tomorrow on Saturday. Now the sun is still in Libra, so our actions and the way we act is still supposed to be in Libra. So we still supposed to act relatable, fair, balanced. We're still supposed to communicate. You know what I'm saying? It may be a little harder for the other cardinal signs, which is Capricorn, Cancer, and myself, like an Aries. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere I was going, people was throwing communication at me today, and I was like, damn, what the fuck is going on with me? I gotta get the fuck out of here. But I understood it. So people was working my opposite signs today. I couldn't walk away if I wanted to, but you know what I'm saying, that's what the fuck we dealing with. So I have to learn how to apply. The moment I get disgruntled, the moment I act like I don't want to communicate and act stuck up, situations and scenarios may play out a lot worse for me than it will others, because I'm dealing with the opposite sign. I'm Aries. So actions and things of that nature, we're still supposed to participate in Libra. Now the moon always give emphasis to the sun, so it motivates the sun. So we're supposed to react and respond to details, being motivated, being practical, and actually making sense out of things. But the way we're supposed to do that is in a relatable way, in a fair and balanced way. So even though you may feel the need to react and respond to criticizing somebody who may be doing something wrong at the moment and things of that nature, try to figure out a way that you could show it in a Libra way. Make sure that Virgo energy look like Libra. Make sure you're expressing that energy in a fair or relatable or a compromising way. Otherwise, it's going to come off as very disgruntled and negative also, especially based upon your own natal alignment. So that's going to be the energies tomorrow. The energies tomorrow, when you bring Virgo and Libra together, let's call that relatable criticism. favorable details. So these should be harmonious details, not negative ones. So the theme of tomorrow is favorable details, harmonious criticism, balanced structure, being able to relate ideas. So that's the theme tomorrow. So make sure you're staying in that energy signature, regardless of how hard that might be. It's gonna be extra hard for me. Keyword relatable ideas. You think as a goddamn Aries, I like relating my ideas to somebody else before I construct it? You think I want to see how I participate with somebody else before I put something out? That's goddamn hell for me. But I better do it. I better do it. And the better I do it, the better I'll be in the energy signature that it's supposed to be. Now, this is what people need to understand also, right? Because now, what I'm about to say, this deserves a whole video on its own. But I'm just going to break it down right now because people don't understand. Because you have people who walk amongst the earth who are not into astrology. And then you have people who are into astrology. And here's the thin line between both. Everybody is experiencing experiences. Now, where do experiences come from? It comes from a conscious wave. Where do a conscious wave come from? Energy signatures. What is an energy signature? Any shape and form you see outside of you that have been created. So, you have small shapes and forms, and you have large shapes and forms. Now, you get affected in a small proportion wise, so this means when you don't really get affected by something. That means the energy signature was very small. The shape and form was small. So instead of you getting shot by a gun, let's say you get stung by a bee or a fly land on you. That's a very small shape and form, so the effect won't be as large. So when you talk about large shapes and forms, when you look up, these are some of the largest shapes and forms you ever seen. The sun, the moon, and shit like that. So they are energy signatures. So I just broke down in third dimension how do energy signatures affect you. So if you see in a large shapes and form, what energy signature you think gonna have more effect on you? Pardon me, a small one or a large one. So when you look up at the stars, you would be naive and a dumbass motherfucker to think that don't have no effect on you. And you would be extra stupid to think that it don't have more effect on you than the shit that you actually see amongst your realm of reality in front of you. So for the most part, you're all experiencing energies. So that's the thin line between a person who is not into astrology and a person who is into astrology. Now here's the key. Here's the thing. A person who is not into astrology leave possibilities 100% wise to be exposed to the energy and to not know what's going on. So people you see going on today, day to day, they're not into flight astrology, they don't watch Archangel Uriel, or they don't watch no other astrologer, or they're not psychologically into philosophy or anything to know how to pick up energies. These people who walk the earth day to day, go along the day-to-day schedule and time based upon its imagination. These people are left open to be used as a vessel, or to be possessed by a spiritual being, or to be used as a vessel by these energies, so these energies to play out. So if we're going through a negative transit, going through a negative time period, the people who are not spiritually inclined or who are not into astrology leave possibilities to be utilized as a vessel for these energies to play out. So if we're going through a negative transit, these people are going to play out negative attributes, regardless of their natal alignments. They're not into astrology or not into energies enough to even know themselves, to fight energies, to even know where the fight is at, to even know where the war is at. So these are the people that you may try to kick some shit, and then they try to logically kick some down your throat like you're not making sense also. So keep that in mind also. Then you have the people who are into the energy. These are people who know how to sense it and know how to pick it up. So here's what's going on, right? You have people who know how to utilize the energy and for themselves, and you have people who get washed up in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension by these conscious bodies of water, by these waves, by these conscious waves, and they get washed, whether they're following trends or following energy, to the point that they don't know what's going on, so they might be lost in the 3rd dimension and try to tell you what's going on, and then they play out the negative attributes of the transits that's going on at the moment. So here's the thing right here. Here's how to utilize the energy for you and not get washed up by the energy. See, you need to understand that Anything you're looking at externally, apply it to yourself first. Even if you're getting into an argument, don't argue the actual thing that y'all arguing. Argue from a spiritual nature. Is you're actually in the right state of being. Therefore, you will come to the conclusion and realize, is this even a situation you should be in or not? And if you start feeling the state of being of this ain't even a real situation you should really be in, and you're doing it for external purposes based upon a person, place, or thing, or a religion, or a scenario, or spirituality, or philosophical moment, then that's when you're going to realize you're lost and you're not doing something true to you. So by nature, you're going to manifest a circumstance or a scenario that don't 100% play in your favor, regardless of how right you are logically or third dimensional wise within that debate or wherever you're into. So keep that in mind. So for the most part, when you want the energies, you need to understand how to apply everything to yourself. And how you know somebody is getting washed up by the energies is when they're applying everything to something externally, a person, place, or thing outside of them. So here's the thing. Once you understand the alignments and the planets and where they're at the moment, and how the alignments and transits and how they're playing off, take those energies and apply it to something to you and one of your issues and problems or creative matters, right? So for an example, right? Today, the sun is in Libra, which means it opposite my sun. My sun is in Aries. So it's an opposition. So this is how I will utilize the energy for me, right? I will utilize the opposite energy to me, which is cardinal air, Libra, and I will have to utilize that for my own circumstances and situations. So if I want to make a song, make sure I'm applying Libra energy. If I want to get into if I want to learn something, make sure I'm applying Libra energy. If I'm going out experiencing and doing something, make sure I'm applying Libra energy. If I'm applying somebody else with whatever I'm doing today, make sure I'm applying Libra energy. If I'm sitting back and learning, make sure I'm applying Libra energy. So the more I'm looking at things fair from another person's perspective, balanced, make sure I'm being just by everything, make sure I'm seeing if something getting the short end of the stick, make sure I'm looking at it from that side, the better I'm utilizing the energy from myself. The better my circumstances, situation, and whatever energy I'm putting into gonna flourish. And whatever fruit come from that seed, the fruits and labor I'm going to be able to receive from that is going to be positive. Now, here's the flip side. Here's how you know when someone is getting watched by the energy, right? And they don't understand the energies. They're going to see other people being related to, other people being in a circumstance, a situation where people are being fair to them. Other people, you're gonna experience people getting more of the end of the stick than somebody else than you. And you're going to wonder why you ain't never in that scenario. You're going to experience other people get just scenarios and situations. In situations that you experienced that was the same as that one, but the outcome wasn't as bright as yours. So you're the person who's just going day to day, right? And you're not aligning the energies for you. So you're going to find yourself in a scenario or circumstance where you're pushing this Libra out, this Libra energy out negatively. So you're going to find yourself being relatable and being communicative about gossip. You're going to find yourself wanting to relate something negative that happened to you to somebody. And you're going to feel like that's fair and balanced and happy to talk about. You're going to be in a scenario where you're going to relate your opinion, your negative opinion about someone else to somebody else. To have someone else like you because you might think whoever you're talking to don't like the person you're talking about. It's gonna play. It's real. You gotta. If you into the energies, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is how you could pin somebody being washed by the energies, and then once you probably at work or at school or somebody around a person like this, ask them about astrology or something like that. I bet you that's the first person to say that they ain't into that shit, or they say, "Oh yeah, that means." If they is a Libra, they'll probably say, "Oh, that means I'm the scale." The moment you get into something like fair and balance and shit like that, they'll probably be like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." See what I'm saying? So, keep that in mind. A person who get washed by the energies utilize today's energies externally. They utilize it outside of them. So even though Libra is fair and balanced and harmonious, you will utilize that in a negative way. See what I'm saying? So, that's how you know the difference. right? When a person is getting washed by the energies, they're utilizing today's energies externally. When a person benefit from today's energy, they're utilizing today's energy for themselves. So they're able to gain fruits and labors out of the circumstances, situations. This is what the Bible is trying to teach you. Not no lost indoctrination by a denomination to teach you that these things are bad. But the way the book and these things was created was by these things in the first place. By Moses, by Enoch, by these people looking at the planets and the stars, by these people understanding things, by these people understanding their surroundings and getting into their higher natures. That's how they was coming to their conclusions. But then now you got all these lost indoctrinations and denominations that teach all y'all spiritual slaves that these things are bad. So now this is the reason why God don't come to y'all. This is why y'all can't be a Moses. This is why y'all don't have no testimonies. This is why y'all don't believe in yourselves. This is why y'all lack power. You know what I'm saying? And it's why y'all don't want to understand astrology and just give it to somebody else. And it's why y'all give all the excuses in the world to someone else who's prospering, where the person who's prospering just doing what God like to do, prosper. See what I'm saying? So you need to understand that God had its own imagination. So if you have your own imagination, you're stepping into godly space, and that's what God like. So God gives fruits and labor to people who act as God. The moment you give your imagination to someone else, quote unquote, a religion, your whole imagination and construction of it is based upon another man and woman and their denomination of it. God don't like that. God gonna say, I don't know you. God gonna say, who the fuck are you? God gonna say, you were following a lost idol. God gonna say, you wasn't in tune with yourself, so there was no circumstance or situation, or you didn't even create the space to even understand the space, because you was lost and blind in someone else's space, who you thought knew where this space was at. So you were in a space that was lost in the woods, and you thought you were supposed to sustain yourself with the fruits that grew out of that woods. And that jail cell of that woods became something that you thought was beautiful. And whatever spirit led you in that woods told you, if you do this, that, and the third, you could stay in this woods forever. And you forever be lost. And I don't want that for none of my soul group. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air. Love y'all.